Shalendru, greetings and welcome to ShadowStar and to this Star Trek Online visual review of a ship recently released, but it's taken me a little bit to get around to, mostly because it's such a beautiful ship. I need to do it justice. Now, kind of fun and fitting here, because I've also just comfortably sorted out how my new main captain works, and considering his homeworld is in the Gamma Quadrant, in a sector that literally borders a sector of the Delta Quadrant, in the Prime universe doesn't get along with the Dominion, but in the universe Ri'shad is from, now, the sovereignty is much nicer than the Dominion. It's fun today that we are talking about a beautiful new variant of the Strike Ship, a ship that up to this point I've only ever flown the tier 5 version of, because I've never been able to afford nor seen too big of a reason why to get the tier 6 variant of the Strike Ship, and now that this legendary variant has come about, well, there's definitely no reason, because I would have to say this is 100% the best version of the ship you can get. Well, within reason, of course. Pilot expertise, it really does need some beneficial boosts. But with that being said, long enough introduction aside, I trust we're all comfortable. Allow me to first introduce you to and begin with the customization of the magnificently beautiful Jem'Hadar Vanguard gunboat. With its own window types, the Jem'Hadar bridge, which, let's be fair with Jem'Hadar, it makes sense, but that is a classic bridge style, and they've been arguing that the windows exist on these ships because the founders might want viewpoints and that. Honestly, I reckon STO needs to design their own special Jem'Hadar bridge. Dominion bridge. Do it, STO. You know you want to. The Jem'Hadar Vanguard gunboat is beautiful and has some decent customization options as well. Plenty of hull types. Type 8 is its new one. Type 7 is the one we've seen up to now on the Vanguard ships, which is personally still sitting there as one of my favourites. I do like this one, but I think the deeper hull colorations and the purple glows are nicer. You of course have Type 6, Type 5 if you want to be more to the canon, first seen in DS9, a Type 4 which is also relatively fitting, and I do think we do see this kind of style pop up as well in DS9, Type 3, Type 2, and Type 1. Type 1 is old now, definitely feeling its age, but I do think it looks pretty nice on this ship. Certainly, the shiny panels are nice. Along with this legendary ship, you do gain access to both the Jem'Hadar Heavy Fighter, a ship that I have loved ever since it was first seen in... well, not really since its first outing to be seen, but definitely since Cisco commandeered one and took it off the planet and then used one himself. I fell for the ship during that point. As much as I like the Defiant, and this is such a good second to the Defiant. The Strike Ship, which is STO's idea of the next generation or upgrade to it. I do quite like the way it looks, though I do feel certainly like the struts that are holding the sails probably wanted to be more upright, more flat, rather than this dip down. It gives a nice feel to it, and with customization it does lead to a different stance, so it's not too bad. It's too bad that once you go from this point, and the gunboat, which distinctly feels smaller than these two, you also generally get that feel more over in the customization, where you can swap out each part and you can get some very intriguing looks. Unfortunately, clipping is to be found, between a fair number of the individual components you can select. I'm not sure if there is a distinct version most of you say is the best. Look, personally speaking, this is my preference look for the ship. I feel this is just a proper evolution. To me, it feels like these are really high-powered dual beam banks either side that are there to fire, and then you've got the quad cannons, of course. Or maybe they're just high-velocity torpedo tubes. I don't know. It just created a feel for me, taking away the big triangular, boomerang nacelles. But then, there we go. Got it so quickly. You can get some amazing looks if you don't care about that, because, well, for a start right now, that one gives me Star Wars-y feel. This makes me feel like a Sith ship has just come after me. Darken the hole a little bit, and yep, the Sith are here for me. Everyone run. I can definitely see myself doing some joking videos with that. It's a beautiful look. Again, go watch out for clipping. It will happen with the wrong parts at the wrong time. But otherwise, get some excellent looks to this ship. Certainly I can see myself playing about with this a lot, just to come up with different ideals and feels. Oh! It's back! But with that being said, all the beauty of this ship aside, let's take it out in its natural look and take a look at that finer detailing, shall we? Right, so first of all, here, not in demo record to show in the finer detailing, let's just quickly look at the boosting for the ship. It's amazing how close you can get just to the ship. First of all, forward boost. Yeah, what you'd expect. The main impulse reactor fires at full power, propelling you forwards. Nice. Reverse, not quite what I expected. I expected to basically see a balance or push back and then a balance or push forwards. But I guess this ship must be unstable when reversing. Finally, and this is probably going to clip into something. I want to go that way, don't I? Not exactly stable in itself. But at least the maneuvers don't look too bad as you do it. Timing! Well, honestly, the pilot reaction thrusters I do think look alright on this ship, but at the same time, I'm a little bit bothered that they didn't put a little bit more thought into it and just balance it out how they show, rather than essentially planting on this ship what they plant on every ship. Every ship has a different space frame. The points of thrust would change. You should keep that in mind. Now, let's get to this, shall we? I'm going to get pretty close to these guys. Oh, I lost my mouse. Doink! Ah, there we go. Right. So, first thing I wanted to show is the quad cannons firing. Oh! Not what I meant to do. Let's reset that. Do. Let it do its thing, flying forwards. And maybe I can get this in the perfect spot this time. I mean, close. But not what I was after. Ah, there we go, a bit better. So you can see it better when it's only just fired. But look at those particle bursts and the actual dynamic look of the weapon. It's not too different from standard polaron cannons, but it's different enough that it really suits the emitter it's firing from. If you look at where it's coming from and the standard looks, we'll look at that in a second. And the fact that these particle pulses are right next to each other, almost looking like one wide pulse. They fly beautifully. The further they fly, the longer the stream from the last blast becomes. And then you've got their impact, which is probably my favourite part to these weapons. It's just a beautiful look. The one thing that bugged me, does bug me about both the Disruptor and the Phaser quad cannon variants, is that they look exactly the same, essentially, as their standard dual counterpart, with the exception of the fact, obviously, they fire 4 blasts, and depending on where the cannon mounts are for it, it changes how close together the beams are. Same happens with the Polaron quad cannon, except for, much like with the Plasma variant, there's also a kind of an aesthetic look that changes with it, that just makes the Polaron and the Plasma variant look so much better. And honestly, God, you can see it right there. It's just a beautiful weapon to use. Now, next thing I wanted to show off, I think I remembered to fire the... So, you don't get the console with this ship. Annoyingly. You probably should do, considering it's legendary and it's along the same line as the Defiant, as the legendary Mictalis, as the legendary Bird of Prey. All of them get their versions. This ship should have had the Quantum Warhead Module Launcher that allows you to fire up to 6 Quantum Warheads at one time. It doesn't, but you can equip it to this ship. It fires, as I've just gathered, from the torpedo launcher at the front here. It looks brilliant. And, of course, the weapon still has its glorious, beautiful blue trail. Straight up standard look. It'd be nice to see a Jem'Hadar version of this that had, say, still quantum blue heads. Because, well, that's how they would look. But with a purple trowel, it would have been just that little bit of extra touch that I really think would have made this ship feel even more unique against its counterparts. Not saying you don't feel unique, because you're a beautiful masterpiece. We'll get there in a second. There's only one other thing I need to point out. If I can catch it firing up. I'm struggling to catch it firing, but you might just see it now. There we go. The experimental weapon literally just looks like a focused version of the anti-proton sweep that can be fired. Looks amazing, looks incredible. And actually, generally would have a nice look on an anti-proton build. Oh, I'm going to be bouncing around a bit, so if you don't mind, let me just... Don't ask me what I was doing, I was losing my mind. Okay, so let's get to the details. Now that we've seen the details of those weapons firing and all that. And, well, I'll just quickly mention on them. We've seen these before. You've probably seen them a dozen times right now. These are, I believe, the Heavy Raiders that you can get from the Vanguard set. Or a lighter version of the warship. It's a straight up basic look. Nice enough. Detailing has not changed at all from what I could tell. So it is literally a case of... There's nothing new to look at with them. They're the same as the old Vanguard ships. Let's take a look at this beauty. First of all, its weapons. Those heavy Polaron emitters. And I'm going to call them heavy because look at the size of this ship. This ship has 4 decks in its... No, beyond that. 1, 2... This ship is huge. There's 2 decks in that forward section there, so those weapons are 3 to 4 decks in size with a 2 deck size emitter. They fire some real output. But I will note that the windows don't always make sense. I mean, this ship does seem to have a bridge window on it, which is interesting to say the least. I'm not 100% if that would be what you consider the bridge, purely because there also appears to be some docking latch above it here. Half of me wants to say that that is a shuttle for the Founders hatch, and you'd have basically your main suite in front of here where they can all do their diplomatic talks and all that speakies. Great docking hatch at the front here with a torpedo launcher, which is kind of, to me, is a nod to the fact that Defiant had a docking hatch on the front of itself. Goodbye to that. Having a torpedo launcher right below it is kind of funny, but hey ho. There's also the two lighter torpedo launchers below, so you've got these heavy launchers at the front, based by size. Of course, they could always be dual beam emitters or cannon emitters as well. But I've noticed the torpedoes come from them, so I'm going to call those the torpedo launchers, even if they don't look different from the cannon texturing. And the same to below here. My brain tells me that they're torpedo launchers as well, or probe launchers. Finally, with a secondary latch or docking latch underneath it that I can see, the whole front of this ship has got a lot going on there. My biggest gripes with the Vanguards is the fact that when they came up with the new texturing for them, so much is rehashed over and over and over. It's all the energy emitters and torpedo emitters. I want to see them, when they come up with some newer ships, actually introduce... Sorry, I'm going to go for it. I want them to introduce actual torpedo tubes. And physically show physical torpedo tubes on these ships. Because if I go over to this one over here, this ship has the same issue. Same gripes, all over it. More looks like beam emitter points. But, no torpedo tubes, and it's bugged me for the longest time with these ships. So come on, Cryptic, you did great with the texturings, but you're missing stuff. You've oversighted. Let's introduce it in. Maybe even re-update the models so that they all have them. Now, if we go on the back of this ship, we've got what in my brain is going like, okay, 2 sensory nodes, possibly, especially for detecting cloak. Like, it doesn't even need to do an anti-proton sweep now. These are anti-proton sensory nodes that are doing a continuous almost burst that allows for the detection of cloaked vessels and such. Or maybe it's even a cloaking device or advanced Dominion shielding, as this ship does have that. But to me, they look absolutely amazing and powerful, and I love the integration of them. Then you've got all this exposed, what makes me feel like this ship is experimental almost, along the back, giving it that feel of robust need to constantly be in state of repair for these. They go through a lot of work. I don't know why there's a hatch door right behind it. The only other thing I can see that as being is it's a rapid deployment launcher. Like, there's actually a hangar here, and yes, it can dock in through the top here, or if it sets up here, it can be rapidly launched out of that tube into and at warp, so it immediately leaves the ship at warp, or deployed from warp, maybe to protect it. And that's why there's another hatch door at the back here. But to me, if that was a hatch door for docking or a shuttle bay of some kind, it wouldn't need to be that big for that tube. And I could never see the Dominion overdoing something. Well, perhaps the need to control the entire quadrant might be considered OTT, but yeah, you know what I mean. The paneling at the back of here feels quite good. It feels reformed. It feels to me like this whole engine section, because this is referred to as the engine section, so I'd imagine the warp core is back here too, as well as obviously the very beautiful impulse engine. These nice glowing elements that I've never been sure what they are to a ship, to a Dominion ship, but to me they're probably warp field stabilizers, because Dominion ships are fast. Maybe they're the superchargers for the warp nacelles. Here's the warp coils, they supercharge them. I don't know, but the whole engine section of this ship just looks absolutely amazing. I love the impulse design. I love the singular impulse design on it. You got two torpedo or beam emitters at the back. I don't know what they'd be. Honestly, my brain wants to go torpedo just purely because why would you have beam emitters at the back? This ship doesn't really run from a fight, but then again, if it doesn't run from a fight, it doesn't need torpedo launchers at the back, so maybe they just launch probes. And they're just probe launchers. I don't know. What would your guess be? Probe launchers, torpedo launchers, or beam emitters? The wings are a beautiful touch on this ship. Before, the way the wings have always arched over the engine section, it's always made sense to me. It's like a shrouded shield. It also creates that beautiful aesthetic look to the ship. These wings, designed much smaller to go with a much smaller engine segment and a much smaller body, really does give that air of the Dominion has taken their heavy attack ship, kept all of its defensive power, all of its mighty firepower, greatly enhanced its maneuverability into the pilot platform, and the result is a ship that makes their original attack ship look like a pea to a boulder. I greatly feel like this ship has evolved from the attack ship, and it's just the air I get from it in every single manner, every single side. This ship does not have a bad angle either, in my personal opinion. This one makes it feel aggressive and ready. Go to the front, it's ready for a standoff. It will sit there and it will not be moved. Side profile just makes it feel extremely fast, and again, like it's ready to pounce on its prey. The upper profile keeps the entire feel the ship's already had. Maybe kind of reversing it a little bit, but hey, I've always loved the the forward-held nacelle sort of design that the bug ships had. I loved it when we saw it in a Klingon vessel. I know not a lot of people like that. People prefer the nacelles to be towards the back. Personally, I just adore it. The biggest thing for me though is the boomerang nacelles. I did not like them at first. And when I first saw the ship, it was sort of at this angle, I thought to myself, I don't really like the way it looks. But it's always from that distance, always seeing it as the attack ship, and I was like, nah, I don't like it. It's not the attack ship I know, it just feels wrong. Since owning this ship, I've just utterly changed my opinion. Everything's changed. I was always worried about the way the nacelles came at the back here. Thought that would ruin the feel. But it actually gives it its feel. Gives it that flow and compactness. Makes it feel like the ship is both compact but also large. Even though it's actually very small. The boomerang design is a beautiful touch to take away, both evolve the look that we already had, but at the same time kind of stick with it. On the Vanguards at least. It doesn't stick with the traditional Jem'Hadar look, but if you follow the Vanguards, they started using the sharper edges, and if you're starting to go from smooth to sharp, going full blown sharp, I'm going to kick you in the butt and spike you, it just kind of works. Honestly, to me, this ship is beautiful. It's the best looking Vanguard ship with one exception, and that's the Vanguard carrier. Not the support carrier, the Vanguard carrier. It's the only ship I think looks better than this. To me, that says something. What do you guys think? Anywho's and anyhow, that's not where this ends. Let's get to Vanity Shields, shall we? Now I'm going to trust that these people aren't going to be troublemakers. And let's take a look. First of all, starting off with the Alliance Vanity Shield, which on this ship looks like it's on fire. I cannot deny that I think that looks pretty good. And the weapons look much better as well, but looking at what's done to them, it's way too obvious they're all using the same texture. Come on, Cryptic, you can do better than this. We know you can. But as for... it's like... I can't have a go at the ship, at the textures on the ship design, because the textures are just placed to the ship design. It's not like the person who designed the ship had any say about what textures were being used in each place. They were probably equally a bit... Could this be updated to make it look a bit better? No. Damn it. Baiul Vanity Shield. I'm sorry, but the Baiul Vanity Shield looks absolutely beautiful. Oh, I could see myself flying this. The pinstripings, the red glowing the cells with just the blue at the back. Yes, please. Fire red anti-proton weapons from this ship. Perfect. Oh, it's a beauty. Call it the Hammer of Odo. Oh, that might actually work. I've actually made use of the word Odo for the names of some of my new characters. Odo meaning unknown sample in DS9 from the Kardashian word. I like the fact that I found out in Star Wars Odo means guardian. I was like, yep, okay, I'm going to use that. Because Odo was the guardian. Borg Cooperative Vanity Shield. Well, it's the Borg Vanity Shield, but yeah, I can't call it that. It's not actually Borg, is it? It's cooperative. It looks really good on this ship. Actually, that looks better to me than the... That actually looks better to me than the Baiul does. Even as the textures don't feel quite right. There's a bit of a problem with the cooperative there, isn't it? You didn't use updated textures when they created this Vanity Shield. They used the original Delta Quadrant cooperative. And we know how old that is. If they thought we wouldn't notice, they probably did think we wouldn't notice. Discovery refit. So, I was expecting that not to look good. But actually it's not bad. Not brilliant, but it's not bad. It gives the ship a feel. However, like this, it doesn't really feel Dominion, does it? Feels like some other faction's ship. And the weapons feel a bit odd too. Look at that. Next up, we have Discovery. Proving clear as day that they're using the torpedo texture on even the cannons. They're using the torpedo texture on everything. So this ship has nothing but torpedo launchers. No cannons, no beams. Okay, got it. We're probably not supposed to notice that, but hey-oh. When you notice that the texture for the Discovery torpedo launcher is so circumspect, it's impossible to miss it. Emerald Chain Juggernaut. Okay, that's a lot better than the Discovery refit. This one really suits the ship's feel. But again, it doesn't make it completely destroys the feel of being Jem'Hadar and gives it another sort of the feel of another alien race or culture. which I'm not going to complain against. Emperor's Vanity Shield. Okay. That works for me. That one also still feels Jem'Hadar-y, but more full of purple elements to it. Also, with the fact that they've got blue over here, it's just less Jem'Hadar because of the red. Emperor's Vanity Shield is gaining something from there. Yeah, maybe it's mirror Jem'Hadar. For Chloe. Yeah, okay, that one doesn't work as well for me. But again, I think that's because in my head, you'd never see a Jem'Hadar ship get to this condition, where it's worn, broken down, and basically lacking repair. Mostly because the founders wouldn't let any of their ships look that way. It's a good look. Oh, this should be funny. Ferengi Vanity Shield. Do you know what? There is something Ferengi about the stance and feeling of it. Oh, it's... I think if the pink panels were grey, like a mid... Sort of the grey that you're seeing over there, the darker grey you're seeing over there. If the panels that are this peachy pink colour were the darker grey that you're seeing on the Vanguard's support ships, then yeah, this would look absolutely amazing. It'd actually probably be the one that I flew on it. Awkward to say. I wonder if you could actually get the paneling to look similar to that as well. I'd have to give it a try. Next up, we have the Herc Vanity Shield. Not expecting this to look good, but then again, the Herc Vanity Shield is very insect-like, and so are the Jem'Hadar ships. Now the warp coils don't feel right to me, but they do at the same time. Hard to explain. The engines feel how I think the warp coils should look. It actually does really look good though. It's a bit weird. I'm having a weird time with this ship. A lot of the ones that I normally are sort of 50-50 on, I'm actually liking. Oh, Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield. Ah, I was saying... If it wasn't for the amount of detail that is on this ship would now look excessively bland. The only reason it's getting away with it is the raw levels of detailing. And what I don't like about it is the warp coils looks. They look like they're melting more than anything else. Goodbye. Medical. Oh god, yes. The ship coming to rescue you from your injuries is a Jem'Hadar vessel. Kill me now. I can't kill you now. Victory is life. You did not succeed in victory, therefore you do not have life. So what are you going to do? Watch you die. No! Yeah. This is why the Jem'Hadar never comes to help you. Not gonna lie, then the sails actually look alright. Mostly because the glowing element almost fits well in with the red striping, and it just feels like it's all one texture. Next up, Platinum. Oh, please look good. Please look good. Yes! I had faith of the heart. Maybe I don't want faith of the heart. I get destroyed that way. Wow, honestly. Honestly, this ship looks really good with that one. Section 31. There's no way this can look bad. No way. Wow, okay. New favourite. The warp coils tend to be the bit that I'm disliking on most of these, but yeah, that's my new favourite. That looks absolutely amazing. My hand is glitching there on you. She is a beauty. I heard that. Who's trying to pick a fight? Next up, we have Xaphan. Okay, normally Xaphan's a problematic one. It just really doesn't suit the ships ever. But, again, I'm caught by surprise. And this one actually looks alright. It's far from perfect, far from brilliant. I'm liking the pulsating glows on it. It's not... I wouldn't put it in the upper half of liking it, but I at least like it. It's not one of the ones I've turned around and go, Jatvash. Again, same situation, and again, same situation with the warp nacelles. I think the style of the nacelles really make this ship, but the size of the warp coil glowing area and the way it stretches on almost all Vanity visuals is kind of ruining it. Should have been a bit more laid back like it is on the other ones. Maybe you've done it so that you had it on this edge here, but a little bit narrower, only having, say, 2 of those where you can see the bands, up to the second band in width, and then put in another warp coil strip on the inside, going from maybe near the back of the wing or pylon down towards the very tip. I think that would have been a much better go at, and basically do it about the same width or half. Similar to what's going on there, but I'm talking about sort of reversed. Next up, we have... Oh, we're going Borg. Let's get assimilated. Gonna see how this looks today. Wow. Yeah, and with one engine, it's a nice big piece at the back there. Feeling very out of place. The warp... Can you see the warp coil thing? It doesn't even know how to sit in this ship. It's just like, I'm doing something. I'm here. Doing something. Wow. Okay, this ship is kind of funny when it's simulated. Poor ship. Let's quickly put the competitive on the back of this, just to see what that looks like. Wow! Okay, you put competitive on this, I've got to go straight to competitive shields now. Where are you? I'm using prevailing on this ship. Let's see how that looks. Actually, that doesn't look too bad at all. And with the competitive engine put the back there, it really feels powerful. Almost like this would be the faster variant. Woo! Let it pick a fight. Damn, you know, I like it. I like that a lot, actually. Might want to change up a little bit on the skins, but not too much. Okay, too far forwards. None of you are going to last 2 seconds. You realise that, right? Go away. Thank you. I am now reversing when I don't want to be. Okay. We go to Pert-Gen. That would be funny on this ship. Considering the Pert-Gens versus the Dominion. Not too bad. Really doesn't like the Pert-Gen design, but it doesn't look bad on it. Next up we have Counter Command. Ooh, the purple elementation to this really pops. And actually, for once, I like the warp coils. It's not a bad look. Actually, it's a really nice look for the ship. Give it a disruptor build and I think it'll be set. Uh-oh, Delta Alliance Unimatrix. We know it's a normal problem, and of course. Of course the warp coils look atrocious with it. Now the rest of the hull looks really nice. The engines look okay-esque, but the warp coils are horrible. Definitely be flying that with a dip. If I was going to fly this Vanity shield, I'd be trying to pick the engines, or sorry, the warp nacelles that take the most out of that horrible look on the warp coils. Next up, we have Dyson. That's in the already purple theme of the ship. Actually, that doesn't work. I don't know if it's the fact that the Dyson's texture is very old, but for me, that is just, yeah. Even the lighting disagrees with it. No, honestly, not very keen on that. Iconian. Normally I'd have remarks to make about Iconian's bad patterning, but something told me there wasn't going to be a lot of room for it. Something tells me I was right. The warp coils actually look alright this time. To be fair, other than the glowing elements, it's not really easy to see the effects of the Iconian one. It's almost like it's redundant in that sense, so no comment. Lucari, hello. Oh, going rainbow on the nacelles, and they actually look really nice like that. Actually, the whole ship seems to feel really nice. It's got a very aquatics feel to it now. And this isn't just to go along with the fact that I seem to have taken to the colony uniform style. Just saying, I didn't even know it existed, and turns out it's a really nice one. Next up, we go Mako. That's not going to add much, is it? The old Mako textures on the new Dominion. I mean, it's a look. I'm not sure if it's a positive one, but it is a look. Probably would have worked better on one of the other textures. Next up, we have Nukara, the Folian. Very strong warp coil glow. Missing the excessively strong blue deflector glow. That's one thing, I was really hoping they'd actually put a deflector on this ship, but I don't blame them for not doing so. Oh, hang on, those pods, which I thought were sentry nodes. Turns out that's the deflectors. Or at least they're using the deflector texture on top of them now. I've only just noticed. Yeah, I didn't notice that. How about one of the ones... yeah, you're greeny blue, aren't you? Yeah, it's using that texture on there. Of course it is. Should have seen that. Prevailing, we've already looked at Romulan Advanced Prototype. Again, this is probably one of those ones where if I chose a different hull type, it would look better. But that's not to say this doesn't look pretty damn good. Beautiful looking ship, actually, but... yeah, I feel like it would be good to put the paint job texture that would complement the rest of the green, and I think then it would look absolutely stunning. Which is what my head is seeing. Temple Defense. Come on, eggshells. Let's see how you do. Ooh. So, for the most part, I'm kind of keen on it. It's just the heavy oily texture areas that I'm not liking. Not on the eggshells themselves. That's what made me like the eggshell patterns, the way the light is catching on it. But the rest of it, say at the front of the nose here, on the back of the engines, just under the wings, yeah, not overly keen on that part. What am I doing? Wrong input. Terran Task Force. Oh, wow. We have a winner by a landslide. Definitely the best look for this ship. Wow, that's beautiful. Oh, with the strike ship nacelles, I think that's going to be the look for me. This will be the look for me. That's pretty. I like not spoiling myself. Oh, I am no dielectric. You can go to hell. You don't deserve. Jem'Hadar gets it. See, Jem'Hadar that we would have already seen on it with the original Type 1 texture still gets a look at a second time. Bryn's dielectric can burn in hell. Also, just gonna say this, with this texture, those cannons look way better. So does the torpedo launchers. It is something to do with the new texture then. That massive red emitter just kind of breaks on it. Finally, the Marmite shields. Riemann Advanced Prototype. You either love them or you hate them, and I love that look. But still gonna go Terran Task Force. Definitely has the best look. Yeah, I'm sorry, Riemann. You are amazing. You are my third favourite of the ones we've seen. Terran Task Force, you're taking the number one. Terran Task Force, you take the number one spot. Oh wow, I really hope I deleted that out. Sorry, guys. Well, she is a absolute beauty of a starship. I hope you guys like her, because I definitely do. And as a result, I would love to hear in the comment section, what are your thoughts on her? Can I also say right now that as for aesthetic design, my score for her, since she's the Cryptic's personal, is 10 out of 10. Yes, I would love to see some torpedo launchers on these ships, but that's not going to take away that this ship is an aesthetically beautiful vessel that I did not give enough appreciation to beforehand. I really like the way she looks. she feels great. Definitely falls in beautifully with the oh, what's it called? The Vanguard support carrier. And honestly, she's my favourite to fly with the Jem'Hadar ships. Just gonna put it out there. Even more so, I like her even more so than any of the other ships of a similar category held by the Federation, the Romulan, or the Klingons. Yes, even more than the Defiant. I said it. God, I'm gonna get some hate for that one, aren't I? Guys, thank you for watching today in this video. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the look at it. Can I also give a massive thank you to people credited on screen right now for the generosity and support of this channel, as it means the world to me. And if you wish to support the channel or follow more of what we're doing, then maybe consider joining the crew of the ShadowStar by ringing the notification bell and hitting the subscribe. And hey, don't forget to check out the description below. But with that all being said, guys, thank you. And until next time, ciao for now. I'm not going to warp out, I'm going to blow up some other ships. Victory is life.